Good afternoon. I want to acknowledge before I start the Merrill family. I love the Merrill family. Heather and Ian and Stephen, Carissa and Faith. It's a hard day, I know that. It's a hard day for a lot of us, and the people here today are a tribute to your dad and to you and to the former First Lady of New Hampshire. I was honored to be asked to speak today. Steve Merrill was my closest friend. We were friends for over 4 decades. His life and mine were intertwined. He made me better. And when we were in our early 40s and we started our own law firm, we thought life was endless and the possibilities would match that. And one day, in the early days of our practice together, we went to lunch at the back room, which is where we ate most days. And we had both heard a eulogy in the recent past, and it became a topic for us to talk about. And we thought it was pretty poignant and pretty powerful. And in that context, and because we loved each other, I love Steve Merrill. I said to him with a smile, I said, Steve, why don't I give the eulogy at your funeral? And he smiled at me, and then he got very pensive and looked at me. And he said, I think I could agree to that. I said, it'd be great, Steve. He said, I just have one favor to ask you. I said, sure, what is that? He said, I'd like to give your eulogy first. We laughed about it for years. He's probably laughing today. It's appropriate that we have this service on the front steps of the State House. And I want to personally thank Governor Sununu and his staff for making this possible and for all the work that Ian did. And it's appropriate it's here because Steve touched so many lives from this building behind me. Steve Merrill was a politician who wanted to win you over, not knock you over. We could learn from him. We should learn from him. And he served as Attorney General in that building across the plaza. He was there 5 years. He was so proud to be the Attorney General, and I was so proud of him. But in an odd way and a most respectful way. That's not why I love him. I knew Steve Merrill for over 4 decades. He served 10 or 12 years in public life. I knew him before, I knew him after. I loved him all that time. Steve Merrill was smart. He'd be the last one to share his credentials. He was a Phi Beta Kappa graduate of UNH. He went to Georgetown Law School. He was an editor of the Law Journal there. They don't give you that honor for perfect attendance. He was a captain in the U.S. Air Force. He served as general counsel to the Secretary of the Air Force all before I met him. I met him in the mid to late 70s, and I fell in love with him. He was the single most interesting person I have ever known. I almost can't imagine the future without those phone calls and those lunches. He was enormously talented, by the way. He'd be the last one to tell you that, too. He was a gourmet cook. I could make a grilled cheese sandwich. He was really talented. He could play the banjo and the guitar. He had a great singing voice. He was a wonderful writer. He was the most charismatic public figure I have ever met. And he was pretty humble about it, too. Steve Merrill was bipartisan. He had to be. I'm a Democrat. Didn't make a difference to us. I got a call the other night when I was with Patty, my wife, on my cell phone in my car. It was from President Clinton, who said, "I understand you lost your closest friend this week. How are you doing?" And then he talked to me about Steve Merrill with genuine affection. He knew him. He admired him too. It doesn't happen much in America anymore. I can't summarize Steve Merrill's life. I wouldn't try, and he wouldn't want me to. But I would like to share just a few stories with you that I think point out who he really was and why I love him. When my father died on Cape Cod some years ago, died suddenly of a mismedication. My parents had been married for 53 years. It was devastating to my mother. I drove to the Cape that night, and it was a long night. My dad died at 1 a.m. The next day, I was with my mother at the house, and a car pulled into the driveway. We weren't expecting anyone. It was Steve Merrill. The trooper drove him down. Came into the living room. My mother loved him too. And he talked to her in such a caring way. And then he said, "Buddy, come on, let's have a walk. I want to talk to you. I want to see how you're doing." We walked for an hour, got back in the car and went to Concord. He said, "Let me know what I can do." A few weeks later, my mother moved into our home. And I picked her up at the Cape that day. You can imagine that was a hard day for her. And she wanted to stop at the cemetery on the way north so she could tell my dad where she was moving. That was a hard moment, too. And when we got to our house in Manchester, I got her in the back door. She was using a walker then. My father had been gone for 3 weeks. She went down the back hall and then entered the kitchen. Standing in the kitchen with a bundle of colored balloons was Governor Steve Merrill. With that Merrill smile, he said, "Mrs. Broderick, I came here to officially welcome you to New Hampshire." He said, "I have one condition." She said, "What's that?" He said, "I understand you're a Democrat. You can't register to vote here, but you can stay here." My mother laughed and smiled. I wasn't sure I'd see her do that ever again. That's why I love him. That's why I loved him. Some years ago, I became a fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers, which means very little to most people, but to a trial lawyer, it was the highest honor of my professional life. And Patty was going to come with me to New Orleans where I was going to be inducted, but she was not well. And so I went by myself. I arrived in New Orleans on a Thursday afternoon. I checked into the hotel in the French Quarter. I got there about 3 o'clock, and I was wondering what I'd do for dinner. It wasn't until the following night when I would go to the dinner for the induction. About 5 o'clock, there was a knock at my door. I thought it was the bellman. So I opened the door, and it was Steve Merrill. It was shocking. He said, "Buddy, you didn't think I was letting you come down here and be sworn in without taking you out to dinner and celebrating." I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "That's exactly why I'm here." Who does that? When my son Christian was confirmed, he was 13 or 14. A few days later, there was an envelope that Christian brought in from the mailbox. It was hand-addressed. And the return address said, "Heaven, hand-delivered by Angel 253784. And my son opened it, and it was a letter from heaven, presumably from God, who congratulated him on his confirmation, but said, "Based on your confirmation, Christian, I think you've earned the right to see a ZZ Top concert with Governor Merrill and his secretary, Pauline," or as we call Pauline, Pauline. He loved Pauline. My son still talks about that. Where do you find people like that? As phenomenal as he was in public life, as much as I admired his public service and was in awe of his gifts, that's not why I loved him. Last Thursday, a week ago yesterday, Patty and I went to see Steve at his home in Manchester. And Steve was dying. And Patty and I loved him, and we wanted to be there. And so we went into the room, and he was lying on a hospital bed. And he looked like Steve. He was frail and thinner, but it was Steve Merrill. And Patty grabbed his hand and said, "Steve, we just came to tell you how much we love you." And he said, "I love you guys too." And then I leaned over him about 6 or 8 inches from his face, and his eyes got pretty wide. I said, "Hey, I have a great idea, Steve. Why don't you get dressed and we'll go up to the back room for dinner? I'll treat." And he gave me that Merrill smile and he said, "It's about time." Even in his pain, he was making mine less. That's why I loved him. And as we were leaving the room, Patty and I leaned over and I kissed his forehead. And I said, "Thank you, man, I love you. You changed my life." He said, "I love you too." And then he waved to me and to Patty when we left. I have never met anyone like him, and I likely won't again, but I will never forget him. Thank you.